chasing the high life, trying to satisfy my soul. All the lies I believed in left me crying like a rain. And I saw lightning from heaven, and I've never been the same. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found the world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I am a child of love. First verse. I was walking the wayside, lost on a lonely road. I was chasing the high life, trying to satisfy my soul. All the lies I believed in left me crying like a rain. Then I saw lightning from heaven, and I've never been the same. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I am a child of love. I felt the sting of the fire, but I saw you in the flame. Just when I thought it was over, you broke me out of the grave. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I am a child of love. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I am a child of love. Nothing can change the way you love me. Nothing can change the way I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. Nothing can change the way you love me. Nothing can change the way I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. Nothing can change the way you love me. Nothing can change the way I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I am a child of love. Nothing can change the way you love me. Nothing can change the way I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. Well, nothing can change the way you love me. Nothing can change the way I belong to you. Yes, I do. Nothing can separate. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I'm a child of love. I'm gonna climb a mountain, I'm gonna shout about it. I am a child of love. I found a world of freedom, I found a friend in Jesus. I am a child of love. All my life, all I know, God's been good to my soul. Mountains high, valleys low, I'm gonna sing wherever I go. Do that again. All my life, all I know, God's been good to my soul. Mountains high, valleys low, I'm gonna sing wherever I go. My words fall short. I got nothing new. How could I express all my gratitude? I could sing these songs as I often do. Every song I'll sing, and you never do. So I throw up my hands, praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, So I throw up my hands, praise you again and again. All that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but I've nothing else fit for a king, except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord again. Come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. One more time. Come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. So I throw up my hands, praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, but I've nothing else fit for a king, except for a heart singing hallelujah, hallelujah. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, 'cause you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Oh, come on, my soul, and don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song, you've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. All that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah. And I know it's not much, and I've nothing else fit for a king, except for a heart singing hallelujah. you get shy on me, lift up your song. You've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. Yeah. Come on, my soul, and don't you get shy on me, lift up your song. You've got a lion inside of those lungs. Get up and praise the Lord. One more time. Oh, come on, my soul. Don't you get shy on me. Lift up your song. You got a lion inside of us. Get up and praise the Lord. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. All that I have is a hallelujah, hallelujah.
Amen. Good morning, everyone. Happy to see your faces. I know the sun's not here right now, but it's coming. I hear that February is bringing us 50 degrees. So for those of you that are my winter haters, you got a window coming that's just for you. It's coming. I saw some applause. Yes, I know. There's more of you that don't like the winter than us that like the winter, right? And Carrie back there with me, we like the cold. Yeah, I know. But it's getting better, guys. We're getting towards it. We're entering the month of love. It starts on Thursday. Very exciting. And yes, and Dad is clapping. He loves love. It's going to be great. He's even wearing pink for Valentine's Day, so you're going to get to see that on the camera here in a moment. But we have a lot of great things coming. We announced it last week, our big reveal. We have a trivia night coming up. Very exciting. I hope you've been brushing up on your Bible facts. I can't quite give you clues to what's coming. All I need to tell you is know about love. And that's all I can give you. That's all the nuggets I'm going to give you to figure out what's coming. It's going to be such a fun time. We always enjoy our fireside chat, which is resuming tonight. I feel like we've had such on and off schedules, but fireside chat is coming tonight. Hold tight. It's time. And we always have such a wonderful time with that. So trivia night I know is going to be just as wonderful. And so we hope to have you there. Invite people. Maybe you have somebody who's an expert at love trivia. You should bring them. This would be the time to do it. It's going to be a wonderful night. Does it have something? And now, with the message, my dad, Sean Middleton.
Yes. Amen.
Good morning. Morning, all. How goes it? She just gave a pretty good, rousing discussion. I think we don't need the sun outside because we have the sun in our hearts, right? Okay, yeah, I'll take it. We'll just grasp onto whatever we can grasp onto. But hey, the sun will shine again. If anybody gets despondent, does perspective help you? I was reading about this. I'm enthralled with things maybe that are extremes on the earth and such. That's why, I've been into Mount Everest and some of that. But there's this little village in, I don't remember if this is in Siberia or in Alaska, but one of them I think it's Siberia. I think it's way up there, and I forget the name. It's something that was hard to pronounce. And it's like their average temp was negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever Celsius you need to convert. And it's like, and then they get used to how they live life. And then they're far enough north that, of course, they have that multi-month period where they have no sun. And then they go to, like, the period of time in the year where they have only day, it never gets dark. So, guys, you could live in Siberia, and it would be worse. Does that help? Woo, yeah. Got to try something, right? Whatever we can do to try to get us into the right framework. Okay, so here's some funnies. Maybe that'll help, right? Okay, this morning I was on, these are the, and we don't have anybody locally that gets into church sign wars or just, I don't think we have any church in town. Ours doesn't have moving anything, so we don't get into that. But these are actual church signs. So you've seen some of these memes and stuff on the internet, and some people are pretty clever, I guess is the point I would say. So I like this. These are all just church signs. This one says, the fact that there's a highway to hell and only a stairway to 7 says a lot about anticipated traffic numbers. Oh, that's good. Be kind whenever possible. Pro tip. You ever seen on everything now? Pro tip. Pro tip. It's always possible. Like, that's good. This one says, do you spend time with God's book or Facebook? Store your Bible in your heart, not on a shelf. I thought that was good too. Like this one. Acting perfect in church is like dressing up for an x-ray. Got my best shirt on and it won't matter because you're going to see right through it. Tweet others as you want to be tweeted, which we can't even use tweet anymore. Do you X somebody? I'm going to X, I don't know. Times have changed, so maybe that one doesn't work. Jesus is God's selfie. That was kind of cute. Honk if you love Jesus. Text while driving if you want to meet him. Probably true. Yeah, this one I've seen many times. When you throw mud at someone, you lose ground. Of course you do. If you are more fortunate than others, build a longer table, not a taller fence. I'll take that. This is a Presbyterian church. It says right on the front, Lord, help us to be the people our dogs think we are. I think so. Is prayer your steering wheel or your spare tire? We were just talking about that in Sunday school this morning. Goodness. When I get on this website, there's like lots and lots of them. Adam and Eve, the first people to not read the Apple terms and conditions. Ha, ha, ha. I just saw that. I just caught what they were saying. Okay. Prevent truth decay. Brush up on your Bible. Are these are kind of getting some groaners ones, I think. We're starting to lose that. All right, where was the one I really liked? If your life stinks, we have a pew for you. That has there's a little humor. I saw when the smile lasts a little beyond oh, Sean, that's not good. Practice thanking God for more than elastic waistbands. Okay. I don't know about that one. I'll end with this. I think this page goes on and on and on. I could keep going. There was one I really wanted, and I think it's way down at the bottom then. This one says, what's missing from CHCH? You are. They had a gap in there. Anyway. I got more. That was like 100 some on that page, and then I could go to the next one, but okay, you get the point. So maybe we need to do more with the sign out front or something. I don't know. But I want to talk to you in the time I have this morning on the topic or the focus. I want to talk about the God who sees me. And I got there's so many good verses on this topic that I want to kind of focus on. And this one to be honest, last Sunday was a bit of my thoughts on this topic. And I'll be super honest, I tend to over-prepare when I'm searching through God's Word. And I had this attached at the end last week and didn't in lieu of time, I kind of pulled that whole thing out and I thought, wow, there was a whole part there. And isn't it funny, Richard, like you delve into God's Word and you're like, there's so much. It's so rich, full of the detail that God can use to better our lives. So I pulled this whole thing out for this morning, and the God who sees me. And I've got so much, there are multiple, we would call it theme scriptures that will kind of go along with this. But here's a start one. Psalm 139:16. Your eyes saw me, my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. There's so much about God foreshadowing or us being predestined to find him and ourselves in him. But I'm stuck on this concept, the God who sees me. So my theme if you want to call it verse this morning, or story, object lesson story, is going to be the story of Hagar in the Bible. And if you're not familiar with her story, we can go there. We're in Genesis in 16, and I'm going to refer to this many times, at least for just a bit. And so let me kind of take you through this story, just as a bit of maybe a foreshadow, as having discussed. Hagar was going through some difficult times, not unlike all of us. I was going to say many of us, but it's like, is anybody living trouble-free today? Okay. Out there, virtually, you have no way to signal me, I guess. You have to like it or something. Okay, so far, I would guess nobody raised their hands in here, so I'm guessing nobody's living trouble-free lives. Okay, so Hagar was no different. She had been through difficulty. And so my paraphrase, going through 16, and you can go through the whole chapter if you want to, but she'd been mistreated by her mistress, Sarai, Abram and Sarai, and they're not able to have a baby, and they're basically taking it out on her, and she's pregnant, and so she's having a baby. She's going through difficult time, and she's basically finding herself kicked out, alone, and disenfranchised right where she is, and pregnant to boot. I mean, it's like, is it going to get any worse than my circumstance I find myself in? She'd not wanted to do what was asked of her, but she had no rights. She was really a slave in the household, so to speak. She was a servant, and her opinion, she didn't feel like it mattered. She didn't feel like she had any choice. Does anybody identify with Hagar? You feel, and I put this phrase down, you feel stuck. I feel stuck, like I'm walking in quicksand again. I made that reference several times. Out of desperation, though, she fled. She got out of that situation. She couldn't take the abuse or the pain, perhaps, but she found herself immediately very alone and very much with child and already struggling and trying to figure out what is she doing. So to say she was feeling scared, lonely, even unloved would be an understatement. Wondering in her despair, does anybody care about me? Have you said to yourself or said it out loud, does anybody care about me? Because of the difficulty you feel, the pressure you feel. And I'm mindful of Paul's writings through the New Testament. He made that same analogy, that same disconnect from our Heavenly Father, and it was over sin. And I know in Christian world, I can just picture those that don't go to church being like, man, you guys focus on sin so much. Well, Jesus focused on sin. Why did he focus on sin? Because he was a negative Nelly? Because he was trying to oppress? No, what was he doing? He was trying to find a way for us. He was the way for us where there seemed to be no way. And I think many times we look at the sins, the things that easily beset us, like Paul said, the things that keep us from meeting the mark, that hold us back, as the things that cause us to feel alone, afraid, all by ourselves, and stuck, not able to make forward motion anymore, able to get out of this circumstance. And so if I kind of look through Hagar's story, as she found herself out, and I don't mind, I'll read this with you if you want to. Go with me to, I don't know, we can jump in anywhere. As she's fled from her presence. In verse 7 now, the angel of the Lord found her by a spring of water in the wilderness, by the spring on the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, where have you come from? Isn't it funny? God does that too. And he was like, what? So what do you want? When he goes up to the person that's struggling physically, and it's like, you almost read, maybe with our modern viewpoint, we read the Bible and we're kind of like, duh, what do you think I want? And does anybody do that with God? Duh, what do you... But Jesus did the same thing. He wasn't asking for information. The angel here is not asking for information. What's he asking for? What's your faith level look like? Same thing Jesus asked to those. What do you want? The guy that's lame, like, I want to be healed. Or the blind person. Well, duh. You'd think it's duh. But Jesus isn't asking for information. He needs to take the temperature. You ever see now, you don't have to put the thing in the mouth anymore, right? We got the new ones. We just go zap. Jesus is like coming up to you being like, zap. I'm trying to take your temperature. Where's your faith meter at? Where are you? Is it way down low, completely depleted? Is it somewhere in there? where do you fall today? So follow with me. And he said, Hagar, sorry, okay, where are you going? Where are you going? She said, I'm fleeing from the presence of my mistress, Sarai. The angel of the Lord said to her, return to your mistress. Submit yourselves under her hand. Then the angel of the Lord said to her, I will multiply your descendants exceedingly so that they shall not be counted for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said to her, behold, you are with child, and you shall bear a son. You shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord has heard your affliction. He shall be a wild man. His hand shall be against every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And I like this. Then she called the name of the Lord who spoke to her. You are the God, gives me goosebumps, who sees me. Who sees. For she said, have I also here seen him who sees me? She acknowledged in her frustration. Here's an interesting factoid, if you didn't know this. It's the only place God was named. God named himself, I am, the great I am. And there's all these other terms of God, and there's the different ones. But in this point, she named him, and it comes down a little bit further. She named him El Roy. Roy, I think it's R-O-I. I forget how you pronounce that. What is it? Huh? Okay. So, got it. So, she named him, she named God. Almost like, you're going to be Bob. No. She calls him, but names meant something back then, right? She called him the God who sees. The God who sees me. Sees me. Who am I? That the Lord of all the earth would care to know my name, would care to know my worth. Oh, that's a good song, isn't it? So now you're singing the rest of it, aren't you? But how many times do we long for, in our frustration, in our loneliness, in those depths, those places where we feel stuck, we don't know a way out per se, we just want to be known or seen. I don't want to be anymore just, and I made this comment here. How many times have you worked in a job and you feel like you're just a number, right? I'm just my clock number. I'm employee number whatever. I'm just another number notch on the boss man's ladder. What song's that from? But you got dreams you'll never take away. Does everybody know that? I'm going to sing Dolly Parton on you, just real close if you want to get into it. Working 9 to 5. That's a good one. Right? Lexi, the girls like Dolly. All right, so sorry. Dolly wasn't on my notes, but she should have been. So, but many times we do. We feel like we're just a number. But in God's kingdom, what does God say about me? Okay, want to know? Sure, Sean, tell me. Give me some more detail. Matthew 10 and 30. He knows the very hairs of your head. Consider that your worth is more than many sparrows, like in Luke 12. And because, what's he do? He took an intimate interest in forming you. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. And all of his works are wonderful. Back to Psalm 139. He loves you so much. When you were stuck in your sins, he showed up personally in the form of his son and made a way for you where there seemed to be no way. John 3:16. We know those verses. And I like this. Consider that you are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them, Ephesians 2 and 10. You were premeditated. I don't know who needs to hear that. You weren't an accident. Like, oh, my parents told me. I was the oops baby. I wasn't planned. Like, no. God said you were known beforehand. Prepared beforehand. Before you were in your mother's womb, it said, I knew you. And the very hairs of your head are numbered. And I like later, I wrote that down. No matter where you feel about tattoos, it said you're engraved in the palm of my hand. I was looking up the etymology of that, and it means almost like carved, or there's a different. And Sean said, get out there and get a tattoo. Put Jesus on my, whatever. Get a little. Go get a butterfly. No, but I like that it was like you were so important to him that he was like, I want you permanently inscribed as a reminder of you. A lot of people like to do that. A loved one they've lost, and they'll get a tattoo just as a memoriam or something of that. And they're like, I don't want to forget. And so many people do that. But I just love the premise that God thought enough of you and I that he's carved us into his body to remember us. Like, well, Sean, there's billions of people. Yeah, but I don't know. Big hand. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he does it, where that's at or what that is. But I also know there's somewhere else he put us down. He put us down in his Lamb's book of life. He also permanently inscribed us there. My name's written. There's a new name written down in glory, and it's mine. Oh, yes, it's mine. All right, that's a good song too. I want you going away, if nothing else, singing today. If I could do anything, I want you going away thinking about some of that. And so let me give you, in the time I have, there's so many different ones but when God found Hagar there at the well, the first word out of his, here's something else. The first words out of the mouth of the angel was Hagar. He called her by name. She wasn't just an anonymous person, random happenstance, chance occurrence. Kind of like I had a note about this. Jesus meeting the woman at the well. And he met her there. And it looks like it's a chance happening because he tells the disciples, I got to go. Got an errand. But he had a divine destiny to meet that woman. And that woman starts talking, and he starts talking about water that quenches thirst forever. And she's like, yeah, whatever. And he starts telling her all about herself. What's the point? It wasn't an accident. You being here this morning is not an accident. You listening out there, if that's what it takes. And this could be months from now. I know how this works. We record this. Somebody could watch this months from now. But for whatever reason that you've been brought to such a time as this, God wants you to know, I know you by name. I know you personally. I see you in your plight, in your frustrations, in your angst, in that moment where you feel so alone and the darkness feels like it's consuming. It's all-encompassing, and it doesn't feel like there's any way out. Remember that, and I had this verse down too, that you're the kind of person that he's willing to leave the 99 and go after. What does that mean? I love that. I was written down that song, Reckless Love, again. I can't know it's referencing that verse there. But you're the type of person that Jesus told the parable story about. Yes, everybody that's in my house is there, and they're, for whatever point, contented. But if you've strayed, that I am willing to set that at ease in order to pursue you, to go after you. And so what's the point of that? Is God going to come in and knock us over out of our predicament and our situation? No. He's always there ready to listen. And I love the reference that in a still small voice. He's ready to intervene. And he's ready to check that faith meter and say, where are you? What do you need? And in our frustration, it can sound like, what do you mean, what do I need? Everything. I need all of it. I need whatever you got. I need something that will take me out of this. But just like I love this, as a loving Heavenly Father, this is a quote I pulled from this gentleman. I didn't know this name, Stephen Altrogi, but he wrote this: Jesus knows us fully. He knows every nook and cranny of us. He knows us better than we know ourselves. And he also knows suffering on an intense personal level. He meets us in our downcast state and pours out grace upon us. I thought that was really sweet. And what did he come to do? When he met Hagar, where she was, in her frustration, in her wandering, in her loneliness, he soothed her heart. He soothed her worries. And his answer now somebody needs to hear this. His answer wasn't, I'm going to condone bailing on life. Like, Sean, but I'd like to run away. Anybody want to run away many times from whatever? I don't know what it is. Somebody, the life, the person, the job, I don't know what you're in. I don't know where you find yourselves. But running away is not always the answer. Sometimes God will meet us right where we are. He comes down to my level when I can't get up to his, and is able to provide that strong arm where I am. because he sees me. I don't have to feel, and I made this note here. This is kind of, is this stepping ahead very far? Yeah, I made this note here. I love this. Many people are asked, and I know I've asked this, I even did this in the back fireside chat. I had to think of my comment for a second. And I've asked this question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be? And everybody starts talking. Oh, I want to be, whatever, Spider-Man and sling some webs, or I want to be whoever. But it's amazing how many people will make this comment, and it can be either. But they'll identify with the Sue Storm in the Fantastic Four, and what does that mean? They'll say, I wish my superpower is I could turn invisible. Is that anybody's here? I don't know. But many times, it's easy to look at the situations in life and be like, I wish I could just sink into the floor or blend into the wall and just avoid and get away from where I am and just hide, just become invisible. And so many of our people in the Bible did that. Elijah ran when he was out there taunting the prophets of Baal and standing up for God at all that amazing scene about consuming the offering by fire. And then he gets his life threatened, and he's out hiding and scared to death for his life and lamenting that to God, right? I mean, but any one of us can do that. We find ourselves in that moment of loneliness and stuck, and I can read this verse to you, and many times there's some of these verses, like Matthew 6:25. Don't be anxious about your life, what you'll eat, what you'll drink, nor about the body, what you'll put on. Is not life more than food and the body more than clothing? Look at the birds of the air. They're not sowing or reaping or gathering into barns, and your heavenly Father takes care of them. And then that comment comes out, are you not of more value than that? Did God not put you in a place, in a position where he can acknowledge in the midst of our frustration, he's like, you don't have to hide, I see you. You may want to feel invisible and shirk into the floor and just get away. And Hagar did. She's like, I want to run away from my circumstance. And he was like, the angel came to her and said, you don't have to be fearful to go right back because I see you. And you are going to do such great things. This baby is going to be beyond your imagination, its abilities to expand and do something wonderful. He said, I'm living up to being El Roy, or whatever you're supposed to say. I'm the God who sees you. I am the one that knows right where you are, that brings the comfort and hope. I like this. Proverbs 15:3 says, the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, keeping watch on the good and the bad, aware of everything. And yet in the midst of my difficulty, in the midst of my struggle, those things, he sees the heart. He sees, I like this, 1 Samuel 16. Man looks at the outward appearance. God looks at your heart. God knows what's going on. You're not that church sign, like, what are we doing dressing up for an x-ray? Thinking that's what we do at church. When God says, I know your innermost beings. I know you better than you know you. And now that's a funny one. Have you done that? Okay, I'll tell it myself. Have you tried to pull the wool over God's eyes like he does it? No. Have you done that? God, I've done this, this, and this. And it's like, you might as well be a 5-year-old lying out of your teeth. It's like you're trying to pull a fast one on God like we pull a fast one on ourselves. We call it self-deception when we do it to ourselves. Have you caught yourself doing that? Like, wait a second. If God knows everything, doesn't he know when I'm full of myself and trying to pull a fast one on him? God, if you'll just do this in my life, I'll do this. Do you mean it? Doesn't he know you don't mean it? And if we can do that, that's the best antidote for self-deception, a prayer life, honestly. If you could cultivate a relationship with the one who knows you better than you, that would be probably the best antidote for self-deception, because it's like, go ahead and try to pull a fast one on God. Do the same thing you would tell somebody else that might believe you and see if he believes you. And at some point, acknowledge the fact that he is the one that can pull us out of ourselves. I had the note about Peter. I love the story, and the girls got me a picture. It's down in the room down there in the basement. I love that picture, and that everybody can get on to Peter being like, Peter sunk in the waves when he got out in the water trying to walk on the water with Jesus. He's the only one that got out of the boat. One. Bid me walk out there, God. Like, tell me I can do the supernatural just like you. And Jesus is like, come. I'm just checking your faith meter, Peter. Where is it? And what was the point? He's out there doing the miraculous until he took his eyes off God. Until he took his eyes off the source and the solution and tried to blend into the surroundings, and it was swallowing him up. Master, save me. And what's he do in that picture? I love that picture. It's Jesus putting the hand down through the water. And that viewpoint from Peter, like, he's saving me from me. He's saving me from me, and he sees me. He's not letting me go under. He knows where I am. He knows me better than me. Isaiah 40, I've got to just list the verse here. Isaiah 43, I've summoned you by name. You're mine. I had a couple other points. I think the other one that I want to take then, I want to take you right to this point as we're finishing here. I've not made any, or I've mentioned multiple times that I've been into this TV series, The Chosen, and I kind of like it, or I do like it, but they've had a lot of people that have been critical of them. I would still encourage you to watch it, because what they're doing is that I haven't found anything that was not biblically accurate. What they're doing is they've tried to interpret backstory to the verses that we do see. So they've tried to interpret some stuff. And there's an interpreted verse that I think is very beautifully written, and it's with Peter's wife, Eve, they referred to. And they do this more than once. And actually, if you've watched any of this, I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but you know what's in the Bible. It's the time with Jesus. So all you got to do is read the Bible, and you got a spoiler on the TV show if you want to. But he has this wonderful moment with her, struggling over Peter being in the ministry. I know they're interpreting a bit there. But he comes into her, and what I love best is in her struggle. She's teary-eyed. She's frustrated. She doesn't know where things are going. There's so much uncertainty. And the character of Jesus comes up, and he's like, I see you. And it just hits like a ton of bricks, like Hagar's story. The same thing that in the times when I feel invisible and I blend into my surroundings because I'm so frustrated by everything going on, and maybe I feel like I'm all alone and there's no one to truly get what I'm going through. And God, in the middle of that difficulty, can stick a hand right out in the middle of the water while I'm sinking and be like, I more than see you. I'm the way. And that's why I don't know why, I've had lots of favorite verses, and Crystal said it one Sunday morning also. It's like my favorite verse keeps changing as I grow with God. And I don't know why, but I'm stuck on my favorite verse now. If I had to pick one, it's Jesus, and it's doubting Thomas, and it's that discussion of, you're talking about the way, and I don't know the way. What's the way? Give us the directions, God. Give me the pathway. Give me the plan. Show me how to get out of the situation I'm in. And Jesus' answer to him is, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the way. You're searching for something that's beyond me. I see you where you are. I see you. And one more reference, if I could call a see you, he did the same thing. It was in the TV show, but it's also in the Bible. He referred to Nathaniel. No matter what Nathaniel had went through, he said, Nathaniel, I saw you under the tree when you were struggling, when you were frustrated, and you didn't know any way. I saw you. I see you now. I see you in the midst of your difficulty. How does God see us? Ephesians 2, 4, and 5. God, being rich in mercy because of his great love with which he has loved us, even when we were dead in our trespasses, even in our brokenness and our separation, he made us alive together with Christ. By grace you have been saved. By grace. Unmerited favor is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast. Why? Because we are precious. We are precious in his sight. Because we are made new in him. I love all these. Isaiah 43, we're precious and honored in his sight. Psalm 139, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. 2 Corinthians 5, we're made new in him. And Zephaniah 3:17, we don't quote from there too often. But I love this. The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you, in his love. Oh, he will rejoice over you with singing. Delight. He delights in us like we would delight any of our kids or even grandbaby. He takes great delight in us. Somebody needs to hear this. You're not a burden to God. I don't care how far you've fallen. If you feel like the church is going to burn down if I show up, if I darken the doorstep, it's not even going to make it. Hell will freeze over or something. You ever heard pigs are going to fly? I mean, all those comments are all self-defeating moments where we feel drawn into the darkness. We don't feel like there's a way out. But I'm here to tell you, our God is the God who sees you. He sees you right where you are. Pray with me then this morning. Lord, I just thank you for your goodness, your blessing. Lord, you're good. You're always good. You're good to me in spite of me, and in spite of my frustration, my failings, and my greatest fears, and the things that I feel like I'm not worthy, I don't deserve. And yet, you still sacrificed everything for me. You made a way for me, and you're still willing to pull me out of the waves when I feel like I'm sinking and all hope feels lost, that I don't need to be invisible and blend in the surroundings and the walls around me, because you're the God who sees me. And we praise you and we love you this morning. Thank you. In Jesus' precious name, amen.